Good morning, Eddie.
Good morning,
I
Rez.
just want to talk about the transfer window firstly. Obviously, the deadline has now passed. No new faces were brought in. Just after some reflections on that and how you feel your squad is looking now as you go into this final part of the season.
Yeah, the squad is okay. I think if it was a fully fit squad, it'd be really strong in all areas. Of course, it's not, so we need to get our injured players back fit. Until we do that, I think there'll be a slight imbalance, and we're certainly stretched defensively. But yeah, of course, I'm very happy with the squad, as I say, when it's got a clean bill of health.
Were you at any point during the month of January close to doing anything, or did you feel that anything was going to happen? I know you've spoken at length about the reasons why it may or may not have been a window that you were active in, but did you ever go down that road and think something was going to happen?
No, I think financially it wasn't possible. As I said right at the start of the window, there may have been players that we were looking at that were for the future, younger players that we could develop, but ultimately nothing happened. I didn't think there was going to be a player coming in that was going to affect the first team.
And just one on the match, huge match against Manchester City, the second leg. I imagine your message is very much that even though it was 2-0 in the first game, that this League Cup semi-final is not over.
No, I think we very much have to have that belief. I think the second goal in the first game was obviously a big disappointment for us coming so late. But no, we still believe, and we have to believe we've got the players that can go to any stadium in the world and perform and score goals. So I think collectively there's that spirit within the group is there. It's going to be an almighty challenge, and there's no bigger challenge than Manchester City away. I think we say that every time we play them. But we believe in ourselves, and we're going to give it a good go.
Thank you. Keith?
Eddie, is a decision not to add this month, given the situation that you mentioned, particularly defensively, is it a little bit of a risk with all the games you've got?
Yes, but I think I can choose my words here. We were left with no other option, really, Keith. I think we have to. Every decision we make has a long-term implication. So there's no guarantee even signing someone with the funds that we had available would help us short-term anyway. So it is what it is. We've been used to sort of working in these conditions now for a while. I think we've only been active in one transfer window out of the last 4 or 5. So I think we're under financial restrictions. We have to be really, really smart, and we've decided to wait till the summer.
That was my next question. What does that mean for the summer then? Does that mean you're kind of holding back the ability to spend until the summer? Is that the decision?
Well, I think the decision is the summer window is a lot easier to recruit. There's a lot more players available, potentially better value for money, but also the fact that we had a very limited amount of money to use in this window, and were the right players available that could help us in the very short term, which is we have a need. Those options weren't there for us, so we can't sign players that don't exist, and we have to work under the conditions that we're in.
Jamal Lascelles, I think has got to Leicester. I'm not too sure if it's been announced or not, but he's obviously been at the club here for 12 years. He's been the captain for a decade. Age 22, he was handed the armband. I know he's not played too much under you, but I believe he's been like a real character in the background and helped. Are you able to just pay tribute to him and what he's done for the football club?
Yeah, I think Jamal has been an incredible servant to the football club long before I came, as you say, captain at a really young age, and some very difficult seasons for the football club, some relegation battles where he really had to stand up and lead the group in difficult circumstances. I think he did that with real integrity and class, a really strong person, a really strong leader, very vocal. And then talking about my time with him here, he had a time where he had to wait for his opportunity, but then ended up playing some unbelievable games for us, none more so than against PSG in the home game. And our Champions League journey, he was pivotal to that and produced some unbelievable performances, probably some of the best that I've seen him play. So yeah, pay tribute to him and thank him for all his service, everything that he's given to the team and to his teammates and to the staff at the training ground. He's a real credit to himself.
Thank you. Mark?
Morning, Eddie. Reported interest near the deadline for Sandro Tonali. That wouldn't surprise anybody because he's obviously a key player that I presume the club would never want to see walk away.
No, certainly there was no intention from our side to lose Sandro at all. I think he's such an integral player to what we're doing. I think he's very happy here. He loves playing for Newcastle and loves representing the city.
What's going to be required in the Man City game? Part of the Liverpool performance, part of the PSG performance, put them together and then you've probably got the performance you're going to need.
There you go. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think part of the Liverpool performance probably for the first 30, 35 minutes was really, really strong. Had a very difficult stadium and team to play against. But of course we didn't put that together for the 90 minutes against Paris. We had, I thought, a really strong performance all the way through, probably bar the first 20 minutes. So as you say, put those two together, I think you've got an outstanding chance of, I think firstly, we just have to try and win the game. And I think if we have that mentality that we're going to try and get all the disciplines of our game in a good place and attack the game, let's wait and see what we can do.
You probably haven't quite got the squad depth you would like. And do you ever sort of lie awake at night thinking about a very careful squad rotation? Because it must be, at the high intensity you play, it must be quite difficult to know who to rest and who you're going to need.
I wouldn't say lie awake at night, otherwise I wouldn't be able to function. But yeah, of course there's a lot of thought that's going into our team selections at the moment, and it has been all season. We've tried to pick and choose the moments when we rotate. We don't want to rotate too many at one time. Try to keep it to sort of 2 to 3, maybe 4 on a sort of game-by-game basis to make sure that we give the players the best chance to perform firstly, so they enter the pitch in a great physical condition. Try to minimise injuries, of course. I think a lot of the injuries we've had lately, they've been knocks, they've been things that there's very little we could do about.
Thanks, Mark. Go to Damien Spellman, then to George Corkin, please.
Morning, Eddie.
Morning.
Eddie, just on Sandro, are you concerned that yesterday might be the start of a campaign to unsettle Sandro in a similar fashion to the way Alex was unsettled last season?
I don't think so, but it's lots of things happen without my knowledge. As far as I'm aware, we've got a player that's an outstanding footballer, an outstanding person. He's very happy here. He's got a great relationship with me, his teammates. Seems really, really happy within himself. So that would surprise me. But, you know, I think he's always going to be attracting, or our best players will always be attracting glances from other clubs. That's just the reality of football. We want to keep the group together. We want to keep being progressive. And, of course, Sandro plays a part in that, trying to hit his best levels and play as well as he can to help the team. So all encompassed, I don't see an issue, but as I say, I'm not in control of everything.
Thanks, David. George?
Hi, Eddie. Sort of a general one on transfers in the window. What, if anything, does this window tell us about where the team is, where the squad is, where the club is at the minute?
I don't know, really. I don't know what you want me to say to that one.
I just want you to say a load of great words that I can use to put in a piece on, right?
Well, we're under restrictions. We're working within the financial restrictions that we have. During this window, I think I've always said there's a willingness to spend what we can. But of course, we have to work within the PSR limits. And that's what we're trying to do. But then you have to make a decision with what room you have, whether you can find the right player that fits. As I say, we have a short-term need. We have a need for someone to come in and play now, especially defensively. But for those players, cost money, and there's a level of funds attached to their ability that we can't reach at the moment.
Okay, we'll go to Lee, Jordan and Dominic, please. Lee?
Eddie, just on, you say you need to bring a defender in, but Jamal Lascelles is a defender and Matt Targett a defender, and you could have kept Jamal and you could have brought Matt Targett back. And you just explain why those two things didn't happen?
Because it's not just up for our wants and needs. It's there's another side to look at it, and that's the player's perspective. So I don't think it's wise to force things on players that they don't want, because you have to have a harmonious dressing room. You have to have a group that's all aligned to the same direction. And of course, that's no criticism of the players. Everyone's got, different contract lengths, and they've got to think about their long-term futures. Certainly both players are highly valued by us, but we've got to make long-term decisions that affects the football club on a daily basis.
Thank you. Jordan?
Will Sven Botman and Lewis Moody be involved tomorrow night, and how is Bruno Guimaraes?
Yeah, Bruno's doing well. Don't think he'll make this game, but there's a chance for the weekend. Sven Botman's okay. Louis, I'm not sure will make this game either.
Thank you. Dominic?
Morning, Eddie. You spoke about the not having the financial capacity to sign players this past month, the long-term implications of transfers. Have you experienced the implications of spending what you did on the players you did in the summer just gone?
Yeah, well, the summer just gone, we're preparing for a season probably like no other in a sense of games, and that schedule has been realised. So I think the issue we have is getting injuries to players in one position that's left us vulnerable. I think there was no intention to recruit in January. The summer business was with a view to getting through to next summer.
Thank you. Luke Edwards, then to Kieran, please.
I need to word this carefully because there are actually two questions in one, but the draconian one question rule is a problem. I think the thing that upset supporters yesterday was the suggestion that Sandro Tonali had been offered to Arsenal, and that painted a picture of a player or a representative who wanted to get him a move. Have you moved to clarify that situation with him?
With Sandro?
Yeah.
Sandro's absolutely fine. I had discussions with Sandro yesterday. He's absolutely focused on the here, the now, playing for us. His only focus, talking to him yesterday, was Manchester City and trying to win that game. So there's absolutely no issue with Sandro himself, and he's very happy and he's committed. So I find it difficult to talk about things that I don't know too much about. I can only talk about Sandro as the person and the player and his sort of mindset here and now, having discussed things with him yesterday, and he's absolutely fine.
So you don't know who offered him to Arsenal?
Luke, if I knew everything that was written and where it had come from, I'd be wiser than you, and I'm certainly not in that respect.
Quite right.
I said in that respect. There was a little bit at the end.
Important caveat. Kieran?
Morning. I always felt this season would be a bit of a roller coaster. Can you tolerate that word transition when it comes to the club progressing, keeping the group together, I guess?
Yeah, I can. I think transition from the team, I think, is an obvious one because we brought players in the summer. We lost players in the summer. So I think there was always going to be a change to the team. Now, change to the team doesn't have to be negative. Change to the team can be positive, and we're trying to find that flow and rhythm that we've been searching for all season, really. In terms of the club is growing. The club is changing all the time, and I think will continue to change in the next few years, probably at a rapid pace at some stage. So yeah, the club's definitely in transition, but transitioning for the positive, in my opinion.
Martin Hardy, then to Sean, please.
Morning, Eddie. What did the club learn from Alexander Isak's departure in the summer that may help you with Sandro's situation now?
Yeah, that's a deep question. Probably a lot, but stuff that's above me, I think. Obviously, in the summer we didn't have a sporting director, which massively impacted our way of working in terms of dealing with agents and dealing with that situation. We were in a more vulnerable position than we are now. Obviously, Ross has filled that position and showing really good leadership, dealing with transfers and all the things that entails. So I think we're in a stronger position now to navigate those waters in a much calmer, clearer way.
Thank you. Sean?
Morning, Eddie. Joe Willock was the subject of some interest towards the end of the window. How happy are you that he's still at the club now? And was that something ever the club considered selling him this month?
Yeah, I'm very pleased Joe's here and playing as he is. The last two games, I think he's been really, really good. I've been very pleased with his performances at return to the Joe Willock's best form, which I think is a very, very good player. from my side, I never thought about losing Joe. He's too important. So yeah, I think with the players that we have now, every player that we possess that's fit is really valued by us, and we want to go through to the second half of the season with. I just want to try and get the players to their best levels and get them to help the team as much as they can.
Gary?
Morning, Eddie. Given what you've spoken about there with the transfer window and the financial side of it, is PSR holding clubs like Newcastle back from, really getting in amongst the big boys long term? And, do the rules need to be sort of reassessed? Because it's just like handcuffs, isn't it, at the moment? It seems to be.
I'm going to get myself in trouble. I'm just trying to think how I can diplomatically answer that. Yeah, of course, it's impacting us. It's been impacting us for a number of years. As I said, we've had one active window out of, I'm not sure the actual number, but it continues to impact us. But we have to follow the rules as you know. Otherwise, points deductions and other sanctions are placed upon us will have really detrimental effects to what we're doing. So we're trying to fall in line and be progressive and move forward. And that's an ongoing challenge for us.